Hi there everyone, welcome to a video tutorial on how to change the color of the iris so it has the rainbow effect. You probably saw that a lot in different pictures, but I thought I would just show you how to do it. So let's get started. The first thing I always like to do is duplicate the original layer. You do that by pressing Ctrl J. Then the way I like to unlock your bottom layer by pressing the lock up there. And then how I like to do it is desaturating my picture by pressing Ctrl Shift U, and as you can see, that makes it black and white. Now the other thing that I'm going to do now is I am going to open up the levels. You can do that by pressing the button over here or pressing Ctrl L, and you see this window then. Now what you're going to do is you're going to just drag around the sliders a bit and look for the effect you like. For this picture I like to push the gray slider and the black slider a bit to the right and the white one a bit to the left. So now what we're going to do is, as you can see, by the way, that's the little change of the effect, but it just makes it a bit more dramatic. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer by pressing Ctrl Shift N, and you can rename that layer to colors or rainbow or something like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select our gradient tool, which is under the paint bucket tool. So you might want to keep that pressed and select the gradient. And normally your gradient is probably set to black and white. Now by double clicking the bar over there and selecting the spectrum, not this one because it has the transparent edges, that will not always work for every picture, so I just like to go with the full spectrum over here. So you select that and then take the what is it mode? The diamond mode? No, it's not the diamond mode, it's the angle. There you go. So you select the angle mode, and then you basically start drawing from the iris, and I like to keep shift pressed, and you drag it all the way up to the edge of your document and let go. Now what you see is creates a sort of a cone of colors, and of course this looks pretty bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to change our layer mode over there, and we're going to change that to multiply, I believe. Let me see. That looks alright. Let's maybe check darken, and as you can see, darken, the edges are a bit more visual, so we'll just press multiply for this one. And well, of course now your whole picture is colored as opposed to not only the iris but everything else. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our quick selection tool, which might normally be set to the magic selection. So just keep it pressed. Select the quick selection, then select your eye layer and just start drawing inside of the eye like that. And now as you can see, it selects the eye until the edges, and then we go to our color layer again, and with Ctrl Shift I you can inverse the selection so it selects everything opposite of what you selected before. You go to your mask, and this is wrong, so you just go back to your normal selection and press the mask, and as you can see what it does, it erases everything outside it, but of course you made a rough selection, so you want to like smoothen the edges over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to select our mask, then take our eraser tool, and by right clicking you can change the settings like to the right size and the hardness. You can put that to around maybe 10%. So then by just slowly dragging along the borders like that, and as you can see I do it kind of roughly. I might take out a bit too much, but that doesn't matter because you're working with a layer mask, and that's the advantage of a layer mask. You can always sort of brush back the previous state of an image, so that's why I like to work like that. So as you can see with the brush tool now, again by right clicking I can change the settings and then just slowly brush along the outside of the eye, make it look a bit smoother and make it look a bit nicer. As you can see, I'm doing this on a layer mask. And as you can see, you can just take back the previous state of the image from anywhere you want. So you just slowly color that in, make it nice and smooth, and maybe up here a bit, maybe on the left as well a bit. And there you go. Now, as you can see, you basically have your effect, but you can always make it a bit more dramatic, of course. Make it look a bit more, like, you know, give it a bit more of a expression, I guess you should say. I don't know. But what you can do to do that is you can use some filters in Photoshop. And if you want to do that, you can go to your two layers, your eye layer and your color layer, and by pressing Control, holding down Control and clicking, you can select both of those layers like that. Then with Control E, you merge them. Then when you've done that, you're gonna go to wait, I need to duplicate the layer first, sorry. So you press Ctrl J again and duplicate the layer. Then you go to Filter, Sketch, I think it is, and then Graphic Pen over there. Now, as you can see, you're gonna get a black and white image with a lot of strokes, and this really depends on your on the image you're using, but you can change the settings like the light and dark balance or the stroke length. I just like to keep the stroke length on 15 for this one. And let's see, I'll use something like these settings. And then you're gonna change your layer mode again to let's see, darken. That doesn't really work. Let's see, multiply. That looks alright. But as you can see, multiply takes the dark edges, so we're just gonna make it a bit darker. Again, duplicate your layer, go to Filter, and select your Graphic Pen. And then just make it a bit darker, something like that. That looks a lot better already. Set it to multiply. I'm just gonna scroll through it really quickly. Soft light seems to work. So then you can mess around with the opacity of the layer a bit, and maybe change it to around 70, 75, something like that. And then as you can see, you just get a bit more of a dramatic effect, which looks pretty cool, I think. And you can just erase the iris like that, but as you can see, then it really pops out. I want it to be a little less obvious, so I'll just change the opacity of the eraser up there to around 50%. Then again, you can erase inside there, but as you can see, it's a bit less obvious. It still has the same effect, but it's a bit less obvious. So yeah, that's how I like to do this. If you have any questions or tips or anything like that, just put a comment below. If you have a request of something, you can also ask for that. I'll be glad to look into that. I'm going to be a bit busier though because I have an internship, but yeah, we'll see what I can do. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something from this.